Years ago, I had some lovely, cuddly friends who I spent, I have to say, a lot of time with. They were a crucial part of my life for a good 2 or 3 years, I would say. I met up with them at tea time and listened to their conversations, and then they said goodbye to me. I said goodbye to them, and I wouldn't see them again until the next day. They had some very interesting names, did these people, such as Iggle Piggle and Macca Upsy Daisy and the Tomblyboos. But there were some minor characters as well. The Pontipines and the Wattingers, the Hahoos, the Tittifers, the Pinky Ponk, and the Ninky Nonk. And through these characters, there were all sorts of different stories and scenarios and relationships between each of them. Designed for preschool children, which is why Eliot loved it so much all those years ago, but much loved by others as well, not least me. I remember one day going to the Midland Arts Centre with Eliot and seeing a production, an outdoors production of In the Night Garden, which is the programme containing these different characters. Eliot loved it, but I loved it probably more so. I got wrapped up in all the characters and wanted to know just what happened next, but then had to wait another day before finding out. But what was more fascinating for me was the way that these characters interacted with each other. Essentially, in the Night Garden, the program is about love. It's about love more than anything else. The garden is a place of harmony and love, in which everyone was devoted to looking after each other, taking care of each other. Hugs and kisses were the norm. But more than that, there was a real sense in which they wanted to help each other out. So Macca would take every opportunity to wash the faces of everybody in the garden. Upsy Daisy loved spending time with Iggle Piggle and vice versa. The Pontipines, a family of mom, dad, and 8 children, loved spending time with each other, playing in the garden. What theology there is in that program, because essentially it is a model for the church. And it is a model of caring and loving and wanting the very best for each other. It's that kind of church that it models. And it is a model that works very well at the moment. If nothing else, lockdown has forced us to really rethink, to re-evaluate the church. What is it for? What it means? What essentially is the church about? And I think lockdown has forced us to perhaps let go of some of the things that just don't matter so much, but to hold on to the essential things. Questions come to the fore. Why do we exist as a church? Do we actually believe, with the well-known words of Archbishop William Temple, in these words, that the church is the only society that exists for the benefit of those who are not its members? Or Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the church is the church only when it exists for others, not dominating, but helping and serving. It must tell people of every calling what it means to live for Christ, to exist for others. In other words, we are all called, each one of us, to be the church in the world, in society. What is the church? Well, we can state what the church does, or at least what the church has done in the past. It holds worship services. It opens its doors to the community for different events. That's all very important and is an important expression of our call to care for one another. But even in our current situation, and certainly as the doors perhaps very slowly reopen for worship and for prayer, the church is about healing lives, building relationships, growing closer to God, and serving God. It is about worshipping Christ and being a community of love, being committed to worship and having compassion for those in our community. It also requires us, I think, to ask a number of questions. What are we called to do, to be, as a church? Where do we see God at work right now? What is our vision as a church? How are we really serving and helping each other? And what does it mean to be the church without the building? For the church is more than bricks and mortar, as important as they are, of course. The church is the people of God, wherever we are, slightly displaced perhaps at the moment, but still worshipping God and caring for each other. And let's also learn a lesson from the wonderful characters of In the Night Garden, because they know what it means to be the church. Let us pray together. Lord, may we be a church that looks outwards. May we be a church that encourages diversity and difference. May we be a church that embraces change. May we be a church that loves and values and celebrates everyone. May we mirror your love in the world. Amen.